Hi, Adam. Can you talk us through your review process this week, and did you try anything different to try and make a bit of sense of the Sydney result?
Well, it was a bit different. We're in Melbourne, so good in a way because we got to spend the day, in particular with the coaches as well, trying to review the game. We spoke to the players Monday night, and then Tuesday morning we trained, and then we got back Tuesday night. So, yeah, we've reviewed the game, and now we're preparing for North.
Were there any key lessons out of that game that you can share, or things that you're pretty confident you can fix up quickly?
Well, a lot of it's got to do with effort and work rate, so it's pretty evident. It's hard to execute a style of play or how to defend opposition if we can't bring that. So our players are aware of that. Trying to tap into why we were so poor for 2 weeks. I mean, 10 days ago we were in a pretty good position. So working through the why is something we're working on, and continue to work on our method.
And a lot of people would say, as professional athletes, how can effort not be there? How do you get your head around the effort side of things with your players?
Well, it was just inconsistent the last couple of weeks. So, it's something we've got to get a hold of. That ability to perform every week is important. We've been pretty good at it for a long period of time. So disappointing on the weekend. It was so off compared to Sydney. So, there's no excuse for it. We've just got to be aware of it and get on with it.
Do you look at the losses like the Geelong one and then the Bulldogs one and the Sydney one together and say, well, which players haven't performed specifically in those games or have been worse in those games what they would in most games, and try to weed out the guys who aren't performing as consistently as you would like?
Sorry, you're saying look at the 2 games that we were poor in?
So when you look at the games where the team's been really poor this year, do you look for consistencies across or a trend about specific players when you're sitting at selection now?
No, I think it's all of us. Yeah, it's all of us. So, pointing the finger at 1 or 2 people. I mean, there needs to be change. And, to be honest, we've changed the team probably too much in the last 4 or 5 weeks, some through necessity. So the continuity of our players on the park is something we're working on. But no, it's a collective thing, mate.
Just on the injury front, Simo, what can you tell us about Gaff and Redden?
Gaff had a bit of a sore thumb and he was touch and go, so hoping he's available this week. So he'll train today, I think. So that'll be important for us. Reddo will miss a few weeks with a leg injury, and Jermaine Jones will miss a few weeks with a syndesmosis. So we've got a couple of other guys there that will be touch and go, which we'll work through today. So we lost a couple of soldiers. It's been part of our issue, really. We get 1 or 2 players back and we lose 1 or 2. So, disappointing, but we'll have to replace them pretty quick.
And what have you noticed from the player group? Obviously, the 2 disappointing performances. What have you noticed just in their attitude and the feedback that they've given you this week?
Yeah, I think they, just like the coaches and myself, we all feel responsible. So, we own it is the direction going forward. And that's as simple as it can be. So talk doesn't really count in these situations. You need to go out and perform and, do it through your actions. So judge us on Monday night, and hopefully we're a bit better than we were on the weekend.
And have you had to put anything in place to protect the play group from the backlash since the weekend? Because on social media and talkback radio and things like that, there's been a lot. Have you had to put anything in place just to protect them from that?
Not really. I mean, trying to control that is really difficult. Players and people live off their phones and social media, so trying to separate yourself from that is difficult, especially with young men. So, we've always had high expectations, and our fans and members have high expectations, and I suppose that's where you want to be, that's where you want to live. So you've got to take the good with the bad, but at the same time I'd encourage them, and I have, not to read everything, because that can get dangerous too.
And for you personally, I guess there's been even people saying that perhaps your game plan is outdated and you need to evolve. What do you think about that?
Oh, it's an honest question, I suppose. But I mean, if the effort and work rate's not there, then it's hard to execute your method. But we've still got to look at the method as well. So we're always doing that. We have a pretty honest conversation about that, but it's hard to judge. After the Richmond game, we were looking okay. That was 2 games ago. So we've really been exposed the last couple of weeks. So it's a good reminder that nothing is as good or as bad as it seems. So we'll look at it without jumping the gun too much. We need to perform at a more consistent level to really judge our style of play.
Are crowds returning to Optus for the first time in a few weeks? What does that mean to the players in the club?
Look, yeah, it's important. It's important across the competition if you can play in front of a crowd. Financially, it's been a bit of a struggle for everyone. So the game Monday night, I'm not sure what the weather's going to be like. I think it looks a bit rough, but the opportunity to get a full house is great, and it's great for everyone. So yeah, we obviously didn't have the crowd against the Bulldogs, and we missed the crowd early in the Derby early in the year. So yeah, getting a crowd would be great. Excuse me.
Just back on the coaching, Adam, you've mentioned a couple of times that the work rate is the issue with the players, but you've thrown the coaches in there as well as you guys need to help lift the team as well. What are the specific things that the coaching group needs to improve to help the team?
Yeah, I won't go into the specifics. I think the message is we're all in this together. So it's all of us. So we need to back our players in. We need to be resilient, and we need to be tough and hard when we play. So we're all in it together. That's the message. The whole club. So we're not here to point fingers or blame people. I'm at the top of the tree, so it's for me to work through. But we're all in this together.
Adam, having an 8-day break off a loss like that, is that a good thing or a bad thing? And talk us through the 2 differences in having that extra day after what happened.
No, it's not. It's irrelevant, really. We didn't get home till Tuesday night, and then we were in quarantine yesterday. So it's been a different week, just like last week was different as well. It shouldn't have any bearing on your performance. When you have a 4 or 5 day break, that becomes an issue. But 6, 7, 8 days, that shouldn't really connect to your performance on the day. So we've got main training today. We had a session in Melbourne before we left. Going to Caulfield Grammar for the week was great from a training point of view. Obviously we didn't execute, but we trained on Tuesday, we trained today, and we play Monday.
Adam, obviously you'll be without Jack and Jermaine, but are you anticipating more changes than just those 2 at this stage?
Probably, yeah. It looks that way. So we'll see how the guys train today and see how they pull up. And got a couple of sore guys. So like I said, that seems to be the case for us a little bit. It's not 2 or 3, it's 4 or 5 changes we're making. I think we've made probably 11 changes or 10 changes in 2 weeks. We don't normally do that. So maybe even 3 weeks. Yeah. So we've got an eye on that. But there'll be a couple more outs, I'm assuming.
And you said that there's as much responsibility on the coaches as the players, but how much do you need the senior players like Luke and Josh and Jeremy to galvanise the group when you've had a couple of poor performances like this?
Yeah, all of us. Yeah, it's pretty obvious. Anyone who's been at a footy club knows that you can't do it on your own, and you can't rely on 1 or 2 people. But you need your leaders to lead, so they need to be resilient. They need to stand up and perform. So that's all of us.
And you mentioned a few sore bodies. Can you provide some more insight into who some of those are?
Nope.
So guys,
Is it difficult at the moment with the new guys who are coming, the blokes who have been newer to the group because of their injuries coming back in, managing their training with the guys who are sore and the blokes who have been around all year? Is that a challenge for you working through your training sessions at the moment, trying to get the most out of them?
No, it's no different than normal. We've got some guys who are working through their match fitness, that's for sure. But they're not far off, to be honest. So, no, that's doesn't feel any different than normal. So that there's no issues there.
You'll take over from Alistair Clarkson?
Oh, I gave him a text the other day. It's great news. Great news for him and his family. So, yeah, I'm sure he's looking forward to it. And I haven't seen too much about what's going on, but I understand there's a succession plan there. So, well deserved and good luck to him.